I'm Austin Schumann, also known as the online and multimedia editor of the Montage student newspaper. Now, coming up on April 17th is the deadline for applying for your favorite editor positions. Now, many of you may not know exactly what an editor does, so we're going to go through, talk to the current editors, and see what they do. Let's go take a look. Your name and job title.
My name is Delila, and I am the Art and Life editor.
What does the Art and Life editor do?
The Art and Life editor, basically what we do for that section is we will kind of just cover things going on around campus or around the neighborhood that has something to do with the campus. You need to know how to go out there and talk to people and how to get stuff done. You know, if you're missing some stuff, you can go cover like the new bakery that opened, or like, you know.
My name is Bill Gazella, and I have been copy editor with the Montage for right about a year now. The copy editor's job is essentially to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, make sure that everything is following the AP style, the Associated Press style, any little punctuation, misspellings, proper formations of abbreviations, things of that nature. And you look at the piece as a whole, to make sure that everything is consistent, there's a flow to everything, and not only that, but the entire paper flows as well. There's not conflicts in styles, that the entire thing start to finish flows. You essentially just have to really have a keen eye for detail. And we have the Associated Press style book on, you know, campus and everything, and we use that as a reference, you know, and it's pretty much just learning how to point out those red flags and then hitting your style book and taking it from there. It's been a great experience. I don't really have any specific stories, but I have learned a lot, not only about editing, but about writing. It's helped me become a better writer, learning all these, you know, specifics to the Associated Press. Especially as an individual looking to get into journalism, it's been a great learning experience, especially on the extracurricular level.
I'm Alex White, the photo editor. I assign photos to different staffers. They go and take them. They tell me if they have any problems, issues. I help them get ideas of what pictures to take, and then when they're done, they let them up onto the server, and I edit all of them and pick which ones go on the paper. How to use brightness and a lot of other little things in Photoshop. Knowledge of a few different cameras, a lot of DSLR cameras. It is always fun to see your name in the paper as taking pictures, and always, as a photographer, I really liked seeing the staff photographers' names in the paper and have them, like, how happy they get when they see their pictures. So that's...
Thank you very much.
My name is Marissa Derricks, and I have two jobs. I'm the graphic design editor, and I'm the in-depth editor. In-depth editor, I handle the part in the middle of the paper. It's a 2-page spread, usually lots of graphics, something that isn't necessarily bound by time. It can be things like just weird things, or like investigating a story is more investigative. But we often use more graphics, and it'll have a different page layout each time, so that's a lot of fun. For graphics, I just assign and make graphics and illustrations for the paper. When it's just starting out as just an editor, it's usually you're making a lot of them, but then as you get more people, you get to assign more work and have minions. Knowing some graphic design helps. Knowing a little bit of programs like Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign are really good, but when it comes right down to it, having a good eye and knowing how things balance on a page for both those jobs is really important.
My name is Spencer Gleason, and I'm the editor-in-chief, news editor, and sports editor for Meramec student newspaper, The Montage. Well, you're basically in charge of all the sections. As editor-in-chief, you're in charge of all the sections. You look over all of the stories, photos, graphics. You basically okay everything that goes into the paper. You take responsibility for everything that's in the paper. And as news editor, you basically cover the news stories going around on campus. You come up with story ideas. You assign those story ideas to other staff writers. If something falls through, then you have to fill that hole in the paper. And it's kind of the same deal with the sports section, except they're all sports stories instead. You go to the games, talk to the coaches, talk to the players, You can, if the team travels for a tournament, you make arrangements to be able to be there to cover the team. You have to, as editor-in-chief, and then the news editor and sports editor would kind of fall under this umbrella as well, but for those particular sections. The editor-in-chief, you have to know how to write, you have to know how to edit, you have to know AP style, you have to know how to take pictures, you have to know how to put pictures on the server, do video, same deal with editing video and everything. You have to know how to lay out.
So pretty much you have to know how to do everything?
Yeah, pretty much. You just get to meet a lot of really cool people and form relationships with those people and carry on those relationships even beyond just the school setting. Whether it be people here at the school or former people that were on staff, or it's really cool. You really get a wide-eyed version of the world, meeting a lot of different people.
Oh. Welcome back. I hope you learned a lot about all the editor positions, but there are a few more that we didn't have time to go over. Opinions editor and managing editor. Opinions editor, much like the editors for news, sports, and art and life, goes through all the opinion pieces, makes sure everything looks right, and sends them on to the copy editors. The managing editor is pretty much like the editor-in-chief's second in command. All the other editors talk to managing editor, they pass on all relevant information to the editor-in-chief. Now we can't forget some of the most important jobs, online and multimedia editor, which is me. Now technically that's two jobs. The online editor is in charge of putting everything on the website, whether that's the stories, pictures, or videos that we shoot. The multimedia editor is in charge of shooting the films, a lot like the one you're watching right now. They either film and edit their own, or, much like the photo editor, assign pieces to their lackeys to go out, film, and edit their own as well. Now remember, deadline for applications for editor positions is April 17th. So make sure you come, apply for the editor position, and we hope to see you next semester on the Montage student newspaper.